What's up, everybody? Just in the tractor, driving down the road, coming back in from the pasture. Figured we could talk Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic, the fight nobody wants except for Jon and Dana. Now, you know, if this was 2020 or 2021, right after the DC trilogy, and Jon looking human versus Dominic Reyes, I think everyone would have wanted this fight. But here we are, 4.5 years down the road. Jon's fought one time, beat Cyril Gane, a kickboxer with no grappling. And Stipe's got knocked out by Francis and hadn't fought in years. Stipe's in his 40s now. Always been a fan, always got respect, but at this point in time, I no longer want Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. The true fight I want is Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones. Well, we know Jon, he's ducking, and if he does fight someone besides Stipe, it's probably going to be Alex Pereira, because he sees a flaw in that grappling, and Poaton's just a bigger name at this point. He's got a lot of hype behind him with the casuals, and Jon could sell that to his fans as, you know, as he's taking the tougher tests and pretend, you know, that's you know, the real money fight and the real tough fight. When we all know Tom Aspinall, the guy who's bigger than Jon, hits harder than Jon, can match Jon's speed, has good grappling, is young and hungry. We know Jon's avoiding him like the Black Plague. But here we are. They've announced another date. I remember the first time they were supposed to fight. The first time they were supposed to fight was supposed to be July 2022. I know this because that card was in Dallas, Texas, and I was going to go to it. However, when it came time to announce that fight, it got pushed back, and Nunes versus Pena was the main event instead. And I didn't buy tickets because I'm not going to spend a ton of money to go watch two chicks main event. No offense. It's just not worth my money. So then it got pushed back, and it got pushed back, and it got pushed back. And then last year, it got booked for Madison Square Garden in November. I really wanted to go to that card because Yuri Prochazka was on it. But what do you know? They got the GOAT, Jon Jones, on there fighting Stipe Miocic, and it was in New York, so the tickets were ungodly expensive. So I didn't get to go, and of course Jon, he pulled out. I think he got injured, beating his wife in training or something like that. Could be wrong. Don't take my word on that. That might not be the cause of the injury. But yeah, I don't want that fight. Jon's saying it's going to be November now. Anyone with a brain knows that Jon Jones is going to destroy Stipe at this point in time. I mean, Stipe hadn't fought in years. He's in his 40s. He's way past his prime, coming off a knockout loss. Jon's coming off easy work versus Gane. Beating Stipe is not going to be good for your legacy. It's going to age like milk. No one's going to give you credit for it. The fans aren't going to buy it like you think, Jon. We don't want that. I'm telling you. I'm the biggest fan of the UFC. We do not want that. Knowing Jon, he'll probably beat Stipe, make Pereira an Aspinall fight, and depending on the result of that, you know, Pereira wins, I think he would fight Pereira. If Aspinall wins, I think Jon he'll find a way to dodge it. You know, he'll get arrested again and get stripped, or he'll fail a drug test and get stripped, or he'll retire and strip himself. But yeah, I do not want that fight. Let me know in the comment section, how do you feel, Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic?